YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here yet again. We are here talking a little college basketball championship. We got some MLB today. I think we have a small NBA slate, which or smaller, I guess. So got a couple things to talk about today. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, like you said, I haven't even looked at the NBA. It's 2 games today. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can skip that. There was a huge slate yesterday. So, yeah, no, I mean, I've been doing fantastic. Last week was honestly one of the better betting weeks I've had in a while, just in general, both sports. It was going very well. So I was just kind of relaxing most of this weekend. Wasn't doing too much. Had a little bit of Saturday baseball action. It went pretty well, and mostly just kind of sat back and enjoyed all the good games. So it was a great weekend for me. And I just tweeted out, we got a killer sports week this week as well. Obviously, college basketball tonight. We got the Masters. We got an awesome UFC card this weekend. Like, it's just a great week for sports in general. I'm sure we'll be touching on a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, no, Masters, obviously I'll have a lot of stuff for that. I'm excited for that. I'm not sure, obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about it here on the show, but obviously, always excited to get into golf. Obviously, we don't do a ton of it on the show, but obviously, I know you used to bet it. I bet it a lot more now with the DFS stuff. So yeah, it's exciting, and obviously, yeah, a good UFC card this weekend because we kind of had a couple dull ones these last few weeks. Yeah. So got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's been awful recently, but I'll have a lot of money on this UFC card this weekend. So we'll talk about that as we get a little closer. I'll probably bring some Masters bets as well. Like, it's funny, I used to bet golf every week, and then you kind of shifted. Now you bet golf every week, and now I'm just like more of a casual that just shows up for the big tournaments. But I mean, there's nothing better than the Masters. The coverage is awesome. Everyone's hyped up. Every golfer, it's like their dream to win. You know, you get like the A game. It's just awesome. So super pumped. A lot of good stuff this week.
Yeah, no, it's always fun to talk Master, and they do a phenomenal job with their app too. Like the app that they have, like it's literally just there for 1 week a year, right? And it's in the U.S. Open has a good one as well, where they just do a good job of just tracking everything there. Yeah, maybe just because we hit the big one a couple like last week, maybe I'll just spam the big one But it's just some of those contests are so crazy, bro. They're like freaking 40% to first place. It's like, God damn, dude. I ain't winning out of 30, 40,000 people. I ain't winning that shit, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop DFS with golf and just switch to betting, where like you can get the winner of the tournament and not even like make that much money. And to me, it's like we're missing the point here. You know what I mean? Like it's just too hard unless you're like either one of these optimizer guys that's like grinding. Like it's not meant, I feel like, for like single bullet people like me who just want to fire 1 or 2 in there.
Yeah, you gotta do all. Yeah, it's all contest entry. If you want to I would just do single entry lineups. If you're gonna do those, for me, I've been just doing mostly showdown. I haven't done like week long ones in a very long time, just because so many bad things can happen. Like a double bogey on a showdown slate is like -4. Yeah. But a birdie's 6, so it doesn't, or 5.75, so it doesn't even like really matter that much. You double bogey on a week long and you miss the cut, like you're fucked. Like you lose all position points, everything. So yeah, I've been doing a lot more showdown versus messing around with some of the crazier stuff with week long. But yeah, we might as well get started. We got 15 of you guys in here in the first 4 or 5 minutes. We appreciate you joining us. Ready to talk some baseball, some college basketball here. So not our best showing on Friday, but we'll get right into those for our recap here and obviously adding that to the record.
Yeah, I mean, hard to feel bad about this one. Leadoff double, pulls his hamstring running into second base and gets pulled out the game. The runner that pinch ran for him scores on like the next at bat. So, we lost this one, but it's kind of hard to feel bad about it. Like obviously the money is no longer in my account, but I feel like it was a pretty good read. So it is what it is. Hope Marte gets healthy soon so we can return to betting on him again.
Yeah, no, he's a stud. So, I had the wrong read here on Soriano. I hope you guys are following me on action because I did play Jose Ramirez over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and do hit 3 nukes. So, it was tough because Soriano did not pitch well. He did not throw well. He gave up like 5 runs. I think he had like 6 or 7 strikeouts. I don't know. The Guardians are shifting more to a power team now. They got some pop. They're sending balls out of the ballpark quite a bit now. Obviously, Manzardo, a little bit higher strikeout rate. Obviously, a lot more pop in that lineup. And obviously, you still got guys like Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan who don't K much, but Soriano did get the job done over the 4.5K, so we did lose that one. But I did end up cashing my long shot there, which ended up putting me over with us playing the plus 100 on mine as well. So we ended up light loss here on the show. Shout out Robo for again doing his thing.
And NBA got us up a little bit too. I had an NBA in this one as well. I believe I had Collier on Friday.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I know
like 2 or 3 times.
I know. He cashed this one, but we got to get our money in the show. So I just want. This is my first one NBA, one MLB. So did lose the MLB one, but did get back up a unit with Collier, who went over once again for us. So okay. I was thinking right there, you might have forgot about that. So
yeah, I have no idea. Completely blanked on it. I like I said, I've been out of NBA for a very long time. I completely blanked that we had an NBA player.
Yeah, hey, it all counts the same though. Got to get it in there.
Yeah, so that moves us to NBA 39-24. Actually, college basketball NBA. I gotta make sure I put that in there because I know there's like 6 or 7 bets in there. And then obviously MLB 5-3, 4.45 units. Hopefully you guys did tail your boy on Houston as well, taking them against Duke. I did talk about that ad nauseum here. I had a nice little. There's a couple guys commenting on my other post that Duke was going to run them. I'm like, bro, it's like it's tough, man. It's tough. If you go, I don't remember what the comment was, but it was like Duke has 3 of the 4 best players on the court, and I'm like, bro, if we're just going off talent, why are we playing the fucking game? Like Kentucky would have 12 titles in the last 15 years, bro. It's like. So that was always a fun one, and obviously, I saw Duke was the most bet ticket at Duke 5.5 since Memphis of 2008. So it was nice to be on the other side and obviously get obviously a pretty big meltdown. I know people are going to say stuff about refs and the Cooper Flag play, but then you look at a play before they kicked the ball out of bounds and they literally gave it to them. So it's like the refs had a shit day on both sides. They let teams play, which again, that's going to benefit the team like Houston, who's obviously a lot more physical.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was one of those. I was like scared before the game. Like the way people on Twitter were talking were making it seem like Houston was a fucking donation. Like the way these people were talking about Duke, it was crazy. I mean, you're seeing things like, and not from like dumb people, from like relatively smart people, like, oh, this is, one of the best college teams we've seen ever, one of the best players. It's like scary stuff like that. I'm just sitting here with my Houston tickets, like, oh wow, like maybe I made a shit bet right here. Like it didn't feel good to go through Twitter and just see nonstop hate and stuff like that. And I wasn't even really watching the game, to be honest. I was hanging out with a couple friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. They don't care about sports whatsoever. I kind of lost track of things. Didn't get back home. I thought they lost. They were down like 8 points or something when I checked my app. I was like, you know what? Gave it a good run. Game's over. That's why I texted you at like 2:30 in the morning, fired up, like, holy shit, because I made a good chunk of change from that Houston win right there. So appreciate you on that call. It felt very good to see that win right there. And it felt very good to win when the whole world is telling you how dumb of a bet you made as well. It feels that much better.
Yeah, no, it was all over mine. I just don't pay attention. Like you make the bet and you go with it, man. It's the toughest part, when you're dealing with, a lot of people that are obviously on the other side. And Duke, I believe, via KenPom was one of the top 2 or 3 teams since KenPom has been created in terms of like net rating. So, but again, Houston is the same way. I mean, they're that good. When you have 3 dudes that shoot 40%, not many teams can have one of their top 3 scorers go down, barely play. Uzan played like 25 minutes. And just have a guy like LJ Cryer, right? Everybody's talking about Walter Clayton tonight, but what about LJ Cryer putting up 26, 6 for 9 from 3, like hitting setback, big shots, 92% from the free throw line. Like, I mean, it's going to be Walter Clayton. I get it, but it's like, who's slowing down LJ Cryer? Who's slowing down Sharp? I hope Sampson talks to Sharp about taking these bullshit ass fucking mid-range off a step back. I'm like, dude, just fucking shoot your threes. You shoot 42% from three. Stop trying to do all this crazy shit. And if I have to, like, I know Wilson has made some big shots this year, but with Uzan out, man, it was such a big drop off. They were getting smoked. He played terribly. And I'm just like, just don't get foul trouble, boys. Just do your thing. I think that they're going to absolutely dominate the paint. I think Condon's going to have his absolute work cut out for him. Juwan Roberts has looked like a dog down there. And my boy, me and my buddy sent me, I think it was before the Final Four. He's a big college basketball guy. We talk, ad nauseum about all this stuff. But he was like, I got to get this shirt. And it was a picture. It was a JoJo Tugler shirt. And it was just from the NIL store. And I'm like, bro, you better get that before they win here because it's going to be like $50. And then he did the fucking technical foul. He had the technical foul. And I'm like, oh, shit, go on the store and buy it for $2 now because that fucker just lost him the game. Then they come back and still win. And Tugler makes the putback slam on top of him where, again, dude got hammered. Like, his whole entire arm got fucking hit by flag. And I'm like, where's that on that one? So it was crazy, man. I was at a bar with some buddies. We were watching the game, and it was wild because we had, like, it was like this back room we were in, and there was one table that was all cheering for Houston. My whole table was cheering for Houston. And then two tables behind us, they were all cheering for Duke, and we're like, getting rowdy. It's almost midnight, right? And when all that stuff started happening, you could just hear the stands start going crazy out there. And Duke took the L. It was those tables that were chirping early, they started getting quiet. So can't chirp till the game's over,
100%. And it's the best feeling when you can shut them up at the end of the night. You're walking away with the smile on your face and some green tickets in your pocket. So definitely agree. And before we move on right here, I will just say, I know we talked privately. You don't really have bets on this game, right? Like, are you betting it at all? Or
I am hedging. I am hedging a couple tickets just because I do have a decent chunk of change on Houston. I have them in I believe they call it a Calcutta, where you auction the teams. I have Houston. It's a pretty big pot. I also have a 9-1 Houston ticket. So I think at this point, with the amount that I could win with it, I'm probably going to sprinkle a little bit, a couple hundred on Florida just to kind of have that. Obviously I want a good basketball game. I love Houston, want them to win, but this does kind of give me vibes of my Badgers a little bit when they made it to the final and they beat the team they weren't supposed to beat in Kentucky, and then they just fucking shit down their leg because it was pretty much like their final. So I'm hoping Houston can come back. I believe in Sampson, but I'm still going to have a little bit of hedge on Florida. So my only bet in this is on Florida money line, just because I do have, futures, quite a few futures on Houston.
Makes sense. And yeah, for me personally, I'm really small on it just because it's the everything's sharp, like at this point in time. But I do have Houston money line in this one. Obviously, after last game, why not? You know what I mean? And you're seeing a lot of the same things. I feel like a lot of those same Duke people are just going right back to Florida, trying to make their money back here. And it is what it is. For props, they're kind of tough. Especially because I don't know these guys that well. I have a little Uzan 11.5 points. It's up to like 12.5 and stuff in a lot of spots. I think only one book has 11.5. So I'm riding with that. And then I want to run by the other two to you real quick. Just quick reaction. I don't even know who this guy is. Thomas Haw.
Yeah, he's the tall white guy, not Condon.
They have like four of those.
No, he's like their 4. He made a couple big plays at the end of the game. He's been shooting a lot more threes. I just don't think he's gonna do that well here. He's gonna be matched up either on Roberts or Tugler. Like, good luck, buddy.
But yeah, maybe they give him space. Maybe I go threes instead. Like, just because the logic was that Clayton, Houston's just gonna be aggressive as hell on him, right? Like, he's the number 1 option. Anyone but him beats you. So who's gonna be the guy?
I mean, if I'm gonna take that, I would not take Haw. I would probably take Martin.
Sounds good. I
would not be betting Haw in this one. Like, we talked about it before. Like, Houston's interior with Tugler and Roberts is the best defensive tandem for front court. And that's why I said Malawach ain't going to do shit in that game because I don't think he had a rebound. I think he had one rebound.
Yeah.
You're fucking 7 feet tall, and he's standing in the paint. He had one rebound in 30 minutes. Like, got him out of there quick. I think this is a tough spot for the bigs. Obviously, it's tough to say this, but I do think Florida probably has a little bit of the advantage on the guards, just because Elijah Martin has been there before. Walter Clayton is probably the best player on the court. But just being able to have three guys that can shoot 40%, we've seen, off games for Cryer in the tournament, right? Cryer sucked against Purdue, but Uzan had 25. Then Uzan got in foul trouble last game, and obviously Cryer went out for 26. That's the peak. That's the perks of having this, because last year when Shed went down, it was Shed and Cryer, and that's it. And then when it goes down to Cryer, you're fucked, right? And you play a team like Duke last year, you're not going to get by in with one guy, right? So that's why, having three separate guys, Sharp didn't play well, but he still ended up with 15 points. So, it just kind of makes this game a little bit more fun, a little more interesting.
And the final one I got Roberts 7 rebounds. What do you think about that?
I'm going to be playing points rebounds, I believe. I think it's 19. I just think that Condon's been kind of bullied in this tournament. I don't know if you watched the Auburn game, but Janai Broom looked like he was kind of beat up a little bit, like kind of still hurt from that last game, even though I'll still never let him live it down that he said I'm done to his parents and then come back and fucking play. I'll never let it. So I was cheering for them to lose. But like the first half, he was fresh and just went out and just scored anytime he wanted to. So yeah. I think that you saw Roberts at the end of that game hit those 2 free throws. His confidence should be absolutely sky high on this one. So I think I'm going to lean with a little bit more having the points in there as well. Don't mind the rebounds prop separate, like just by itself, but I definitely would prefer to have points in there.
Sounds good. No, yeah, I like Roberts. He's old. He's a veteran, been there, in the system for a while, all that stuff. So yeah, that's really all I got. I just wanted to run a couple by you real quick. And yeah, I think I'm super excited. It's been people hated on the tournament a decent amount, I think, but I think it's been pretty fun overall. And I probably won some money from it too with these brackets and stuff. So that makes it better too.
Yeah, no, I should be top 3 in every bracket I do if Houston wins. Obviously Florida being 20% of most of these. It was 25% Duke, 20% them. In most of these, I think Houston's like 8 or 9%. So obviously I have Houston. Hopefully they can get it done. But again, I'll be hedging. I usually don't hedge, but when it's like a decent amount of money, like if it's a couple $100 that I would win, it'd be different. But, having a ticket like that and, a bracket size pool with the amount I'm going to have on Houston here too, should be a decent amount.
Yep.
Let's go Cougars, baby. Let's go Cougars. So I'll be at the same bar, same spot I was at. I told my wife, I'm like, don't wait up tonight. I'm gonna be out. My first Monday. I don't think I'm not gonna drink. Obviously, I don't think I am at least on a Monday. But going right from work right over there. So, perks of working a little bit later in the day, so you can do stuff like that. So. Yeah, I'm excited. So we can get on to some MLB today, guys. If you have any other questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. We'll do our best on this, talking about some college basketball. If you have any other questions, let us know. We have a good slate today, Stu. Any games sticking out to you? I see the Dodgers are in town for you guys, facing off against Gore, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the one I'm going to be most locked into just because Gore, Washington's best pitcher on the mound. And obviously, Dustin May on the other side is an interesting case. I mean, he's a guy that has had injury problems holding him back a lot, but the pure talent, the pure stuff is filthy, like for sure, So it's like, I see in Washington isn't going to be like a huge dog with Gore on the mound too often, but they're striking out like crazy so far this season. So definitely will be tuning into that game. Probably not as much the next two. I think this is our only chance to be competitive. The next two, I'll probably just take Dodgers money line and keep the TV on something else, so it's a little bit less depressing, But yeah, that's obviously going to be the standout game for me. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good games on the slate today. I like Michael King late at night tonight against the Athletics. I think that should be a pretty solid one. I kind of want to see if Severino, how he looks. Great first start, came back to earth a little bit. Curious if he can keep the wheels on against a good Padres lineup.
Yeah, I'm for me, I guess I'm a little bit more, excited for that Arizona game. Not for the pitching matchup really. Eflin not doesn't do too much for me, but Gowan having to face his Orioles lineup that's just been red hot start the year. I drafted 3 Orioles on my fantasy team, so I'm always obviously kind of locked in on this Orioles team. So I think it's gonna be a tough matchup for Gowan. I know how good he is at home. I think this is a good spot for the Diamondbacks to face Eflin, but man, this is a tough spot when you have a team like Baltimore coming to town with the amount of firepower they have.
Yeah, I almost mentioned that game as well. I mean, both those teams are kind of inconsistent for betting for me, but I definitely agree that's going to be a good showdown right there. I did want to ask you about one more game too before we go into the props. I mean, how do you not talk about a game with a 5.5 total? Well, what's going on there? Is it like you don't see shit like that very often? Do you have a take on the Texas Cubs game?
Well, I'm seeing 6.
6, yeah, 5.5 juice, like minus
but yeah, dude, it's cold as fuck here. Like, it's in Chicago. I bet you by game time it's 20 degrees. Like, it's 30 right now here. Mm-hmm. I know there's light flurries. Like, it was snowing this morning. And it was 60 degrees on Friday, which is just, it's Wisconsin weather. You kind of get used to it. But when you're in Chicago, that wind affects the ball a ton. And if it's blowing in, man, it could be like these guys be wearing fucking coats underneath those jerseys, bro, because it's going to be tough to play out there with that. I have to check the weather for them down there. But if it's anything like right here, this would be absolutely awful to play in.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's definitely not a good weather game, but I don't know. Just a total that low is it always sticks out to you too. Of like it's kind of hard to bet. Even like I like Uvalde, I like the matchup. It's hard to bet an under at like 6. What's the first 5 going to be? Like 3, 2.5? Like kind of crazy.
Well, my issue too in that game is we don't have to go too deep into this, but like Uvalde, we saw it right when he faced the Red Sox, 9 Ks, and he gave up 2 bombs. The dude is home run prone. Well, what happens when the ball can't go out? True. You have to hit it 450 to hit it out on it. It's just, I get it. It's a low number, but like Steele, heavy ground ball pitcher too. Like, this is a tough matchup, man. Like, and both these guys are good. Like, I bet you even if they were shit, it'd be like 7.5, 8.5. Yeah. It's like that cold. So I feel like I might be looking at the under on that, or at least maybe first 5 under, because it's going to be that's going to be a bitch.
Yeah, Uvalde is under 1.5 earned runs at plus 110, and then under 4.5 hits allowed. Those could be solid pivots, if you're not expecting, anyone to get anything going in that one.
Yeah, I just have a hard time dealing with some of these when it's that cold, bro. Like, yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I just figured I'd bring it up. It jumps out on the odds screen. You're scrolling down, you see a number 6, 5.5 juice. It's like, oh shit, that's something you scroll by too often unless it's like Skeens versus, someone really good.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. So let's get into this, Stu. I'll kick it over to you to start us off. We each got 1 play on the docket today, and hopefully we'll get a couple winners.
Sounds good. Yep, tweeting it out. MLB props time, baby. Oh, I did not tweet out the correct link. That's okay.
Did you send them ours again?
No, I didn't do that. I just copied something random, but I'll just retweet it. We got Brian Reynolds over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 130. MGM Bet365 have the best price right here. Man, Brian Reynolds, if you guys watched the show last year, Reynolds is one of my favorite guys in the league. Truly like super consistent, switch hitter. I normally targeted him against lefties more than righties, but just a very consistent guy. And he hasn't gotten off to too hot of a start. Just in general, he's finally started looking a little bit better over these last couple of games, but only a 182 average. For me, what I like to do, though, is kind of dive a little deeper in some of these regression candidates, and he does pop off in a lot of these metrics in the sense that his hard hit rate is still very high right now. He's making good contact with the ball. When you look at average exit velocities over the last 10 days, he's spiking, last 7 days, he's spiking as well. I know he has 2 batted balls at 109 or higher over these last 7 days as well. Like, he has been making good, hard contact. He's just been getting a little bit unlucky to start the season early. And when you look at what he's good at and what he's not good at, I think it meshes well with this matchup because he's mostly a fastball hitter. You don't really want to mess around too much with the off-speed stuff. And the thing about the pitch splits here is he's going to see like 70% fastball, cutter, sinker combo, and then about 30% like it's called a slider, but he's kind of like a big slider. I don't know. It almost looks like curveball to me. But you're going to see like 70% fastball, 30% off speed right here. And I mean, his numbers are very good against the four-seamer and the sinker. They're kind of 50-50 against the cutter, but those are the two pitches he's doing most of his damage against on the season so far. And like Reynolds is just a guy that if he's hitting the ball really hard, he has some good matchup numbers. When you look at last season against the left-handed four-seamer, 364 against the sinker, 480. Like, he absolutely crushed these pitches. So to me, like, he meshed on a lot of the same things he did last season for me that made him bet him all the time. And while the outgoing numbers aren't super great so far, I do think that he profiles as a guy that is a little bit more likely for some of this regression that we're looking for. So I like Brian Reynolds a lot. I think he's a little bit of an underrated hitter. I took hits, runs, RBIs because I do like the matchup a little bit. I like the beginning of that order. They're going to have a couple of righties there. Keep Brian Hayes in front of him. Has been walking a decent amount, which is always nice if you could set up that little immediate, RBI opportunity in the first inning. That's always nice as well, hitting in the 2-hole against lefties so far this year. I just think it's a good regression opportunity for a guy that hasn't started off the season as hot as you'd like.
Yeah, no, and obviously regression is a big thing in baseball. I mean, you hit the ball hard. I mean, it's going to find us down. It's going to find it down soon enough, right? So I'm always a big fan of Brian Reynolds. Obviously, he's been a thorn in the Brewers a lot. So obviously a really good hitter, and expect him to do his thing here. So I guess my only, real issue is just when you are playing against the Pirates, you have to play, in that stadium when it's cold like that. I feel like that stadium is like some shit winds, at least like the side-to-side winds. So like I like Brian Reynolds, when I'm when I'm having to deal with, like O'Neal Cruz, and you have these guys that they're just going to probably be roll. I don't know how long they're going to let Liberatore go, but I do like Brian Reynolds. I prefer Brian Reynolds from the right side for contact, obviously left side for pop. So it's just, I wish like there was a little bit more opportunity. I just don't like, I'm not a big Key Brian Hayes guy. Obviously I love him with the glove. He's obviously phenomenal, which is probably why he's mostly in the game. But for some reason, I wish Cruz was in front of him, and they keep batting Cruz behind him. So it's like Cruz, if he's on third, this is always something that comes up for me, is like a guy on third base. Do I trust the guy behind him to put him in? I don't trust O'Neal Cruz to get him. Right? I mean, he's swinging for the fence to the end. Right? That's why I'm like, I would prefer Reynolds to be like 1 or 2 in the lineup, but they keep batting him like in that 3-4 spot, or I guess for RBIs. But I'm just not a big Key Brian Hayes guy and or / Pirates guy. I just can't at them very much outside of skiing starts, because obviously when skiing starts, it's a completely different ballgame.
No, that's fair. That's definitely fair. It's an ugly lineup. I just think, and the Pirates are never a team you really want to trust too often, but just Liberatore is not a guy that I'm a big fan of at all. And especially, like you said, this lineup can be a little bit unpredictable, but I think this is a good spot. And the other thing is the weather too. You didn't mention, this is one of the few games that the weather is in like Ballpark and all those apps is like positive. It's saying the weather should help hitters. One of the only ones on today's slate. So I did see that it passed the weather check, which is good to see, at least so far at this point in the day.
Awesome. Well, at least you checked it, because I know I've been a Pittsburgh spot's always been kind of shitty for me when I'm playing on those East Coast games. But yeah, I'm going back to a plus money spot. I'm going to 2 guys that I've already bet a few times this year. And I'm going to a six strikeout parlay, and that is Hunter Green, Logan Gilbert at plus 100 on DraftKings. It's minus like 112 on FanDuel, which I do not. I would prefer the plus money, as I always do. But I guess we'll start out with Gilbert because he's been my guy, and I'm going to continue to back him. I understand he screwed over a lot of people last game. Boy still ended up with 10 Ks, right? 8 Ks. Like, the guy's still missing bats, man. He's got a 40% K rate so far in this early season. Dude has allowed 1 barrel.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, he didn't have a great start, but I watched that game, and that shit was fucking duck snorts and fucking Texas League bullshit, bro. Like, it was not, I'm giving up bombs, and I'm, getting hit hard. 1 barrel so far this year. So, obviously, I love Logan Gilbert, 2.19 expected ERA. Expect that to obviously continue to bring down his actual ERA. But, yeah, four-seamer, obviously, blowing by dudes. I guess my biggest thing was, can I bet him against the Astros? And then it's like, oh, this is not the same Astros team anymore. This is not the same Astros team when you get rid of Kyle Tucker, who's playing at an MVP caliber. I'm so pissed I didn't bet it because I bet him the last 2 years for MVP. But you take him and Bregman out, and Bregman's what, second in the league in RBIs? Like, this is a bones type of team here, dude. Like, 27% K rate to right-handed pitching so far this year. That this team is usually at the bottom. They're a top 5 strikeout team now against righties. So that is something that obviously scared me to start when you look at the Astros, like, oh, sticker shock, right? I have to pay the price to get them to 8 Ks. But really, they've been willing to strike out. Christian Walker replacing, not straight up 1-for-1 replacing, but like taking the spot of Kyle Tucker. Like, that is a huge downgrade in the strikeout department, right? And you take out Bregman, you put up like Jacob Myers, or you're having to play Pena every day, and Pena strikes out a decent amount. Yanier Diaz has done a better job, and obviously Jordan, but still, you have Jordan, who still strikes out a lot, but hits a lot of bombs, and Gilbert just hasn't really been giving those up. Altuve doesn't strike out much, but you go down this order, man, it is kind of broken, right? Paredes strikes out a ton. Like, this is a team that has a lot of power. But do I have to worry about power when you have Logan Gilbert on the bump? Not really. So I think Logan Gilbert's going to be obviously getting closer to that 100 pitch mark, which I love. He's got the absolute leash of a ace right now. And I think this is a great spot for him. Going to Hunter Green, gets to pitch into one of the best parks, obviously, in baseball. You're out in San Francisco. Huge upgrade for him, right? You're used to him having to pitch in Great American Small Park. Now you don't have to worry about that. And that's huge because the Giants strike out a 25% clip against right-handed pitching so far this year. I think the biggest issue has been power with Hunter Green. But again, is that going to get nullified today by playing in this bigger ballpark? I think it does. And when you go over to all of his numbers, dude's red on Savant, if you want to look at that. But it's not only just red in terms of like, the good stuff like the velo, right? 100% expected fastball velo, right? You have a 76% chase rate, which I think is really important, or 76 percentile chase rate, a 34% whiff rate, and 36% K rate. All this is 80 plus, right? Like, this is stuff that you like to see. And this Giants team, you're getting 2 free Ks in Willy Adames, bro. I've watched Willy Adames face Hunter Green enough times to know this is 2 free Ks. So really all I need is 4 Ks by other guys because Willie ain't hitting the ball here tonight. So not to talk shit on Willie, but yeah, he can't hit Hunter Green. So expected batting average at 130, obviously phenomenal. Expected slugging 270, phenomenal. And he's really limited these like deeper in count spots, right? Like, that's what I like, is he's actually getting to face people a third time, which we haven't really seen from him because he's out of games after 100 pitches through 4.5 innings, right? So 4-seamer, 25% whiff rate. That slider has been absolutely unhittable. 59% whiff rate. Are you kidding me? Crazy. So sign me up for some Hunter Green today. Love Logan Gilbert. Plus money kind of feels a little weird.
Yeah, no, I like this combo. I was telling you before, I was trying to find a way to play Hunter Green this morning just because when you look at some of the advanced metrics, his stuff is just so nasty. He's been good this year. He's kind of looking like that ace that everyone kind of always knew he could be, but now he's just an ace. You know what I mean? He's just one of the best guys. For me, control was always a big thing. Only 1 walk in each game so far. He was like a 2.5 walk guy at times in the past. So I was thinking about over 1.5 walks as well as the strikeouts, because I do know the Giants, they do see us a decent amount of pitches per plate appearance. I believe they are higher up in the league at like seeing pitches in general, but I think the strikeout should be nasty. I was kind of thinking of like a Green, like King, 10 strikeouts each kind of parlay. I'm not used to Gilbert in that sense as much yet, but I definitely definitely agree. I always think of Gilbert as still more like a guy that would rather induce the contact rather than K guy, just like Framber, where he can K10 guys, it's there, but they still like to get a lot of that just easy soft contact because they attack, and they fill up the strike zone. So absolutely like this combo plus money. Two good spots right here. I'll definitely be tailing you. And yeah, I'll be playing probably some Hunter Green like ladders as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I looked at the stuff too where you mentioned just like, these guys take a little bit deeper pitches, which is why I'm not sure if I'm going to go ladder, but I feel like buying it down to 6 is kind of like that a little bit safer. Obviously, it's minus 290, so it's just more of like it's just a good parlay piece.
100%. No, I agree. And I like that more than the 6.5 juiced up, so I'll probably be doing this and finding some kind of parlay for it at like 8 or 9 as well to take the upside case.
Beautiful. All right, let's do a quick recap soon. If you got a long shot, we can go over it.
Sounds good. We got Brian Reynolds over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 130 for the Pirates tonight.
And I'll be on Hunter Green, Logan Gilbert, 6K parlay. Over on DraftKings at plus 100. Stu, you got a long shot for us today. Obviously, I know this slate, there's still a lot of lineups that need to come out and stuff like that, but is there anything that you wanted to click on?
Yeah, I would really like Torque if the weather wasn't kind of suspicious up there in Detroit. So I'm going to probably pass on going there. I did bet a little bit of Joey Bart right before the show just because his price was $750 and the rest of the market was like $500. But Joey Bart fucking sucks. I don't really want people to like go too heavy on that. That's like a $5, $10 kind of bet, nothing too crazy. But outside of that, like I said, maybe some like King, Green, like strikeout ladders. But I don't really have anything locked in at the moment, not going to lie.
Yeah, it's tough because obviously I think I hit my first 2 long shots of the year, so I don't know if I want to play anything that I don't really love to start. But I mean, I've been looking at a couple guys today that might just be a play in terms of like a parlay piece, but I'll be like, I kind of like Nootbaar again. Again, this guy has just been awesome and hit when I have him just to get a hit. He's reached base in every single game twice, so it's like it's tough. A guy like that probably will get some money from me today, but like plus 210 for 2 hits, that's kind of nasty. That's like nasty work, bro. Like, I feel like I would need a little bit more to want to bet on that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm big on the batter props. It's just harder, I think, this early in the season still, for me at least. Like, I don't think it's a lot easier to see what prices stick out when you have like all the data and stuff, but we're on such a limited data sample size right now that it's hard to like separate the noise from what's real, like who's going on a good run, who's figured something out. It's a little bit tricky, at least for me, to kind of narrow down some of these like hitter long shots. Well, like when we're a little deeper into the season, I think we'll have a little bit more data to support that.
Yeah, no, I think should be good. I really like this slate. We got some really good arms on the slate too, which is always nice to match up with those. So anything else from you, Stu? Obviously, big college basketball game on tonight, but anything else you want to say to the people before we get out?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a big week. Make sure you're tuning in. We should be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions that we haven't answered or we can go over, make sure to drop them in the comments. We will get to them before it ends. Even if you're roasting PPS, he'll still cook you right back. I did laugh at that Kentucky comment you hit that guy with. That was pretty funny. But yeah.
And that was just like off the top. Like I didn't think. I just saw it. I'm like, no, that's why I like doing these live ones because, like, I feel like at this point, like, we've been doing it long enough where it's like, even like if I'm in person with someone and they try to like, give me something like something you see on Twitter and they think like that they'll just come at you or whatever. You come on the show, like you gotta have like some quick. Oh yeah, you gotta be able to do it quick, man, or else you're it's gonna be tough for you on here.
100%. You got to be ready for it. But no, if you got a comment, positive or negative,
negative
the same, so drop it down there. You hated the picks, you love the picks. Let us know either way. And yeah, tune in. It's going to be a big week. I don't even know what sport I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. There's so many freaking options. So it's that time of year, whatever bet I like the most, I'll be back with on Wednesday. But a lot of great stuff, Masters, UFC, MLB, NBA. So I'm excited, man. I'm pumped for this week.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some Masters talk on Wednesday. Obviously, starts Thursday. Friday, I'm sure we'll talk some UFC as well. I again have absolutely no interest in talking NBA right now, so those ones will definitely take priority.
And I'll still bring up some NBA. You know me. I'll find a way to bring up the Wizards one way or another.
Yeah. Oh man, God, that's tough, man. Even just watching the Bucks last night, like again, just do the same thing. You just bet the Bucks first half over because they can't stop anybody start games, even though they played the. Shout out KPJ. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see KPJ these last couple games?
No. I tried to bet him and there were no lines up, so I didn't wait and I just said, fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah. Giannis put up a 37-point triple-double with 17 rebounds. And in the same game, Kevin Porter, I think, had like 25, 12, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm going to have to continue. I should have to pay attention to basketball again. I'm going to have to bet on Kevin Porter. He's going to have to get my money yet again. He's got a soft spot ever since he got the triple-double for me.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a funny stream. That's a funny stream. Because
I was getting roasted because I talked about him and I talked about Kevin Knox, and Kevin Knox didn't do shit for 2 months. And then obviously KPJ ended up actually getting the triple-double, and it was funny because I'm like, no matter what I said, it didn't matter because Kevin Knox literally didn't do shit for fucking 2 months, and I'm like, had to eat those words. And then he got his 15-point game, and I'm like, even though it was in garbage time for the fucking Pistons.
Yeah, it still all counts the same. You know, it's all good to get a little vindicated every once in a while right there.
All right. Stu, anything else? Or we're out of here.
Drop a like, drop a comment, and yeah, we're good to go. Back on Wednesday.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good one. We should be back, I believe, normal time. Maybe check Twitter. Might be a little earlier. I know Wednesdays are always tough with baseball timing and early slates with the travel day the next day. So we appreciate you guys. Make sure you're tuning in over there to know the time. And, yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. Catch you then. Best of luck tonight. Go Cougars.